Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
Good morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So we were discussing about the magic T derivation, whether everybody has done or it is still pending. Anybody tried at least? Nobody. Okay. So the same way we have seen the S parameter and the complex conjugate of that. You have the unitary matrix. So consider the first row, first column. So you'll get it as S11 into S11 star, S12 into S12 star, S13 into S13 star, similarly S14 and S14 star. So multiply all together, equate it to 1. So you'll have 4 equations you'll be getting. So consider this as first equation. This is your second equation. This is your third equation, and this will be your fourth equation. Now, considering the equation 3, you can get the value of S13, which is 2 times of S13 will be 1 by root 2, if you equate that equation of S13. Similarly, if you consider equation 4, you will have S14 is equal to 1 by root 2. So you got 2 equations, that is S13 as well as your S14. So give an equation number to this as 5 and for this as 6. Now the next thing is you will be equating. Equate your equation, that is 1 and 2. So if you equate the equations 1 and 2, you will have S11 will remain, S12 will get cancelled, S13 get cancelled, S14 and S14 will get cancelled. So it will be left out with S11 square, which is also equal to S22 square, which you can write it as S11 is equal to S22. So this is one more equation, that is equation 7. Now what you'll be doing is substitute the values, that is equation 5, equation 6, then equation, that is 7, in equation 1. So you'll be getting it as S11 square plus, instead of S12 will remain same, S12 square plus you have 1 by root 2. So it will be 1 by 2 whole square will be 1 by 2 and 1 by 2, which is equal to 1. So if you simplify this, it will be S11 square plus S12 square. This is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 will be again 1, which is equal to 1 minus 1 will be 0. Now in this equation, the only solution these two, Abhilash, the only solution which your equations will have, that is S11 square plus S12 square. I'm talking about equations, not equating. So since your equation should satisfy the 0, it can either be like S11 square should be equal to 0 or S12 square should be equal to 0. So if you have these two values 0 plus 0, the equation will be satisfied. So the values here you have is S12, S11, which is also equal to S12, which is also equal to 0. Talking about solutions, S11 square plus S12 square is equal to 0. This equation will have only one solution, that both of them must be 0. So S11 will be equal to S12, which is also equal to 0. Now this equation, you know, S11 is also equal to S22. So your S22 will also be equal to 0, which is again your S11 will be equal to 0. So if you substitute all the parameters here to your S parameter, that is for your S matrix, so you will have the equations of S matrix as S matrix of magic T, S11 value is 0, S12 value is 0, S13 is 1 by root 2, S14 is 1 by root 2, S12 is again 0, S22 is 0, S13 is 1 by root 2, minus S14 is minus 1 by root 2. This is again 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, 0, 0. This is 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2, 0, 0. From this equation, that is S11 and S22, you can say that if you have this S11 and S22 as 0, port 1 as well as your port 2 are perfectly matched. You know that if you get something is equal to 0, where your J and I both are same, if you get that as 0, which means they are perfectly matched. So here, since you're getting the solutions for S12 as well as S11 as 0, so this both terms are perfectly matched. Therefore, when you have any ports of 4-port junction which are matched perfectly to the junction, then the remaining 2 ports are automatically matched. So this is one property of a magic T. If you have 4-port device, 4-port network, and your 2 ports are already matched, which means that the other 2 ports in that particular 4-port junctions are also matched perfectly. So such a junction wherein all the ports will be matched perfectly, that is called as a magic T. Is that okay? Any confusions? I'll share the screen. So next will be the properties of magic T. You have around 8 properties to remember so that it is easy to solve the problem. So it is properties of magic T. So write down the equation of S parameter. Normally how we write for the matrix, that is B is equal to S into A. S parameter equation. Now for this S parameter, we are going to write the S matrix of magic T. That is B1, B2, B3, and B4, which is also equal to, this is the value what you have got, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is 1 by root 2. Again 1 by root 2. This is 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2. Again 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2. 0, 0, 0, 0. And you'll be writing the equation for inputs A1, A2, A3, A4. From this equation, write down the equations for B1, B2, B3. If you split the equation, what is the equation for B1 from the matrix? What is B1 from the matrix? 1 by root 2
A3
A3 plus
1 by
root
root 4.
A4.
Plus 1 by root A4.
Yeah. So B2 will be again 1 by root 2 A3 minus
1 by 2 A4.
A4. Similarly, write for B3 and B4. You will have 1 by root 2 A1 plus 1 by root 2 A2. Similarly, B4, 1 by root 2 A1 minus 1 by root 2 A2. Now, considering these equations, we will be defining the properties for your S matrix. For example, the first property will be considering the input port or input is given to the port. Microwave is fed into the port, that is port 3. What are the properties you will be applying for your A1, A2, A3, and A4? Now, first property you can write down here. You can just note down. Port 1, port 2, port 4 are terminated by matched loads. That is first port, second port, and fourth port. They are terminated by your matched loads, which means those all loads will be going to 0. And the microwave power is fed to your port 3. input is given to port 3. All other ports are matched loads. They are terminated, which means that your A1, which is also equal to A2, which is also equal to A4, those values will go to 0 because they are match terminated. Whereas A3 will be the power you will be fed, you will be giving the input. So A3 is not equal to 0. Now substitute these parameters in these equations, B1, B2, B3, B4. So B1 will be, value will be, what is B1 value? What is B1 value?
1 by root 2 A3.
Yeah, 1 by root 2 A3. Again B2.
Same
1 by root 2 A3, ma'am.
A3. What about B3 and B4?
0, ma'am.
0, ma'am.
0. Okay. So here you can conclude that saying the relation of the equation, signal if it is at port 3, it is equally, we know that it is, if you fed to port 3, it is nothing but your H plane. So if you fed to port 3, it should give you the additive property and it should be in phase. So if you see the equations, what you get here, if your power is fed at port 3, it is equally divided between your port 1 and port 2, and you should not get output across your fourth port. So again, there is no output coming out of port 3. So no output at port 3 and port 4, which is the property of your, this property of your H plane. This is the first property. Now, second property. I hope there is no confusion in this. B1, B2, it will equally divide and it will be in phase, whereas third port, fourth port, there will be no output. Coming to the second property, you have to consider port 1, port 2, and port 3. These are match loads, or they are terminated by match load. And you're giving the input, or input is fed across your port 4. So you know the values of A1, A2, as well as A3 will be equal to 0. A4 will not be equal to 0. Now again substitute these values to these equations. So you'll have B1 is equal to 1 by root 2 A4. Similarly, B2 is equal to 1 by, this is minus 1 by root 2 A4. Whereas your B3 as well as B4 is will be equal to 0. Now you know that this fourth port is nothing but it will act as your E plane T. E plane T, whenever you give the input to that port, it will equally divide between two ports, but with a phase shift of 180 degree. So you can see here, B1 is 1 by root 2 A4, B2 is minus 1 by root 2 A4. So B3, B4 will be equal to 0, where there will be no output. So this is a property of, again, an E plane T. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you can, if you have finished taking down, I'll clear the screen. Now the third property what you have is you will be terminating your second, third and fourth port, and you will be giving the input to your port 1, which will be your third property. Okay. Now considering the third property, terminate third port, second port and your fourth port with the matched load, and input is given to port 1. Port 1, you're providing the input. So again, A2, A3, A4 will be equal to 0. A1 will be not equal to 0. Again, substitute this here. You will get B1 will be equal to 0. B2 will be equal to 0. B3 will be A1 by root 2. Similarly, B4 will be A1 by root 2. So which means that port 1 will equally divide between port 3 and port 4, and no signal will come out of port 1 and port 2. So the magic T, or what is the magic, or why do you say it is magic? Because in this magic T, even though the ports 1 and 2, which we considered as collinear ports, port 2 will be clearly visible when looked through port 1. So that is what the concept is. Or no signal can come out of port 2 when power is fed across port 1. So there it was like port 3, and if you give the input, port 4, it is equal to 0 because they are isolated. Similar way, if you give input to port A, B1 you will not be getting the output. Similarly, B2 also you will not be getting the output. So only this P1 and B2 will be isolated now. Port 3 and port 4, you will be getting the output, which will be equal. Now next consider one more condition, which is you are giving the input to port 2 and you need to find out what is the output across the other ports. Consider the condition that is 1. This is the fourth property. Consider 1, 3, and 4 are matched load and you are giving the input to port 2. So you'll have A1 is equal to A3 is equal to A4 is equal to 0. A2 will not be equal to 0. Substitute it. So you have B1 is equal to 0, where B2 is also equal to 0. B3 will be A2 by root 2. B4 will be minus A2 by root 2. So here you can see that port 2 equally divides across your port 3 and port 4, but with a 180-degree phase shift. No outputs will be observed across your P1 and B2. That means you can also assume the normal magic T, what you have taken. This is your H plane. This is your E plane. This is port 1, port 2, this horizontal H plane. If you just tilt it and if you observe the magic T, E plane and H plane can also be, P1 can act as your E plane. P1 can act as your H plane, P2 can act as your E plane, and this will be the other two ports. So anyhow, if you hold and see your magic T, the operations will be same. Even if you hold it with respect to your E plane and H plane, or you tilt it and hold it, it will give you the same property of H plane and E plane. So these four are the general properties considering the inputs. Now there is one more property which will be slight change comparing to your normal inputs what you give here. That will be your fifth property. So the fifth property says you have the identical signals. Till now we had taken only one inputs. Consider identical signals from the same source to be applied at port 3 and port 4. That is, you are giving the input to port 3 and port 4. Whereas P1 and P2 or A1 and A2, they are matched with loads. So you'll have A1 is equal to A2 is equal to 0. Whereas A3 will be equal to A4. See, this property is you are taking identical signal from the same source. So if you apply this condition to your B1, what will be the value of B1? Instead of A4, you can take A3, or instead of A3, you can take A4. So what will be the value? 1 by root 2 A3 plus 1 by root 2 A3 is?
Root 2, ma'am.
Yeah, 2 A3 by root 2, or you can take it as root 2
Root 2 A3.
A3. So this will be the equation for B1. But when you take B2, what happens? What is the equation for B2?
0, ma'am.
B2 will be 0. Again, B3 will be 0. B4 will be 0. So you'll have only the output across your B1. So you can say that when identical signals are applied at port 3 and port 4 simultaneously, then your in-phase signal will appear at port 1, which add up together here and the 180-degree out of phase signals will appear across actually port 2. This 180-degree phase shift will be occurring here, but it will be cancelled because you know it is giving you 0. So no outputs will be observed across your port 2, port 3 as well as your port 4. The sum signal of both, that is, if you consider port 3, port 4, you are giving identical signals for port 3 and port 4. The additive sum of that will be observed in B1. So some signal will appear in port 1. This property, this is called as additive property in magic T. Okay. So next we will be considering one more property just opposite to this. Instead, since we have taken here A3 is equal to A4, we will consider A3 or A4 is equal to just negative of the input, which means that in the property 5, you can take A4 is equal to minus A3, just opposite of property 5. Considering A1, A2 is equal to 0. So if you consider this, substitute instead of A4 as A3. So what happens to B1? Minus A3. What happens to B1?
0.
0. What about B2?
Root 2 A3.
Yeah, it will be 2A3 by root 2, or it is root 2A3. Similarly, B3 is equal to 0. B4 also will be equal to 0. So you can say that from this equation, this is also an additive property, but the sum appears or some signal will appear across port 2 instead of port 1. Rest all will be 0. And the 7th property you have here is you have the identical signals of same source which will be applied across port 1 and 2 now. Just reverse case. Here you had taken it as A3 and A4, that is to port 3 and port 4. Here you will be considering for port 1 and port 2. So if you consider for port 1 and port 2 as the identical signal, so A1 will be equal to A2, whereas A3, A4 are match terminated, which are 0. So what will be the equation? Here B1 will be 0, B2 also will be equal to 0. What about B3? Instead of A2, substitute it as
Root to
A1.
A1.
Yeah, it will be
Root
root
to
to A1. Similarly, your B4 will be 0. So again, this is additive property with the whole sum appearing across your B3. Rest all ports will be 0. Now just again, difference condition, just the opposite of your property 6. Sorry, property 7 it is. Now consider property 8, that is, consider the identical signals, but A2 should be minus of A1, A3 and A4 will be equal to 0. So B1 as well as B2 will be equal to 0, whereas your B3 will be your substituting for A2 as minus A1. So this term will be again 0. B4 will be root 2 of A1. So here also, this is one more additive property where the sum signal will appear across your port 4 and output signals are B1, B2, B3. Those all there will be no output across your B1, B2, B3 or port 1, port 2, port 3. So there are 8 properties totally. Based on these 4 equations, you'll be just defining the conditions. Defining those conditions, just write down whatever the values you're getting. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll clear the screen. Now there are certain properties, applications which you have to remember for a magic T. So this is certain limitations of magic T which you can see. The analysis of your magic T will be quite complicated when you consider for a 4-port network. And you know that reflections will be occurring if you have the mismatch in the ports. If you have that reflection, again, the power loss will be more. Because of the reflection, you know, there are standing waves coming, which means that you will have the maximum voltage and minimum voltage variations. And since the power loss is high, the power handling ability will be difficult. So the power handling ability will be less in case of Magic T. These are certain limitations. When we come to applications of Magic T, there are n number of applications where Magic T can be used for various microwave circuits. Considering that you have certain important above applications you have is, one is it can be used as an impedance bridge, where mainly we will go to measure the impedance, or mainly we can measure the impedance at a microwave frequency. One more is you have EH tuner. This is also mainly used for impedance matching. The third one is nothing but your duplexer. Duplexer is used in the radar system. And next is a balanced mixer, which will be used in a super heterodyne receiver system. And the last one is a power combiner, where you can use the power combinations and you will be using it for certain applications. In that, you have two figures to study in your syllabus. This is called as the second application which we have, that is Magic T, which is used as EH tuner for impedance matching. Now this is a Magic T here. What you'll be doing is, wherever you consider your E arm and your H arm, there you will be using a thread so that you can tune the E and H arm so that you get that property. So you'll be using a tuner there. With how you're using is, you'll be using the shorting plates here. These are nothing but the shorting plates which will be inserted to H plane as well as your E plane. And these shorting plates will act as E and H plane stub. So this is called as a stub when it is matched with your, or when it is short with your E and H plane. So that will act as a stub, and the position of this shorting, which can be adjusted mainly based on the tuning. So if you tune this, the impedance also will be varying inside your H plane and E plane. So based on this, you can reduce the standing wave ratio or voltage standing wave ratio of the waveguides which are connected through your collinear arms. So just variation of these tuners will help in reducing the standing waves in your system. And the next one is nothing but your, one more figure you need to study is microwave mixer. So when you talk about a microwave mixer, it will be using a local oscillator. So using that local oscillator, and a radio frequency choke is also used for the mixer. Then you can see that the signal is applied to your E plane, whereas the oscillator signal is there across your H plane. So using that balanced microwave mixer configuration, because you're giving two sides, oscillator will be providing the normal input and signal will be provided to your E plane, and the signal fed to the E plane, and the local oscillator what you have in the H plane. The two signals, it will enter the collinear arm, because you know that when you give two signals across your third and fourth, A1 and A2 will be giving you the across your collinear arms. There will be a crystal diode placed inside your system. Inside, or you can see here, there is a diode structure across your port 1 and port 2. So those are nothing but the crystal diodes. These crystal diodes are placed so that it can observe your infrared signals or the different signals which you have, which will be obtaining across your port 1 and port 2. And the local oscillator which you are using for your H arm here, this will arrive at the diodes here, because you know, if you apply for H plane, it will be additive. So when you apply the signal from the local oscillator, it will arrive at the diodes here that will be in phase. And whereas the incoming signal which you have in E arm, this will arrive the diode which will be out of phase. So signal what you give in E plane will be coming out of port 1 and port 2 across the diode with out of phase, which the oscillator signal what you give across your H plane, the signal will come out of E first port and second port with the in phase component. So these signals are mixed in a nonlinear diodes. So these are the nonlinear diodes where it will be mixed. And these signals will produce the IF signal, that is infrared signals in the collinear arms, which are 180 degree out of phase. Now, since you know that the local oscillator noise will be in phase at the diodes, this gets cancelled here, the noise at the balanced IF, whereas the IF signals are added up in phase for the amplification. So if you are getting it in phase, it will be used for amplification. If you are getting it as out of phase, then it will be used for the balancing of your IF amplifier here. And the IF and RF signals are uncoupled. You know that because of the magic T property, 3 and 4 at a together if you apply. For equal power at your isolated power 3 and 4, you know, P3, P4 values, you can apply it. And if your port 1 is matched, you know that A1 is equal to 0. So you can say that the output power, whatever you get across your port 1, is a sum of the power what you're getting across your port 3 and port 4. So if you apply across your port 3 and port 4, you can see the property when you apply for port 3 and port 4. In that 8 properties, if you apply all together for your port 3 and port 4, you will be getting only the output across your port 1, that is B1. So simultaneously, if the signal and the local oscillator will be applied to your third and fourth, the output what you get across the port 1 is sum of the total equal input powers. And if you consider one more application, that is across the radar system, that is duplexer of your circuit in the radar system, there you will be using an antenna which is connected to port 1, which is transmitter. Antenna is nothing but which will radiate as well as which will transmit and radiate your electromagnetic waves. So you'll have a transmitter, you will have a receiver. These both transmitter and receivers will be connected to your E-plane and H-plane arms. And there will be a load which is connected to your port 2, which will be a dummy load, such that 50% of your power transmitted is coupled to the antenna and 50% of the received power will be getting into the receiver. So remaining 50% will be absorbed by the dummy load. So that's just a small difference, a small application of your duplexer system in the radar system. The main which you have an application is one is this microwave mixer as well as the EH tuner. Is that okay? So this will complete your chapter 2, that is still magic T. We are remaining with one concept of chapter 1, which is the relation which you have derived for, that is, I think Z parameter we have derived in terms of ABCD. And I have told you to derive for Y parameter in terms of ABCD. And we have to derive the S parameter in terms of ABCD. This one concept is remaining. So we will do it tomorrow. I want you to take down one problem question so that we can complete the class by considering that one problem. Write down the question. It is the problem is with respect to your H-plane T. Write down a 20 milliwatt signal. A 20 milliwatt signal is fed into one of the collinear port 1 is fed into the collinear port 1 of a lossless H-plane T junction Calculate the power delivered through each port. Calculate the power delivered through each port when other ports are terminated in matched load. When other ports are terminated in matched load. A 20 milliwatt signal is fed into one of the collinear port 1 of a lossless H-plane T junction. Calculate the power delivered through each port when other ports are terminated in matched load. What is given in the question? Anybody? Any guesses? At least which port the power is given, which are terminated?
Port 1, the power is given. Port 2, 3, and 4 it's done.
It is H plane T. So you'll have port 1, you will have port 2, and this is your, this is your port 3. Now, since it is H plane T, we know that if the power is fed across your port 1, it should be equally divided between your port 1 and port 2 without a phase difference. Now, A1 is already given, that is magnitude of A1 square is given as 20 milliwatt. Remember, you will be considering the magnitude of the power what is given. So it is A1 square is equal to 20 milliwatt. Then, you know, A2 also A3 will be equal to 0. They are match terminated, so both will be 0. The question is, you need to find out the power delivered through each port. That means, what is across the power across port 1, what is across port 2, what is the power across port 3. Now, the first thing is write down what is the S parameter of H plane. What is the S parameter of H plane? Or S matrix of H plane? You have derived it. Just turn your pages back, see H plane. What was the S matrix?
1/2 minus 1/2, 1/√2,
Minus
minus 1/2, 1/2,
1/√2, 1/√2, 1/√2, 0.
0. Okay, good. So this is the S matrix of your H plane. Now, seeing this S matrix, we need to derive the equation, or we need to write the equation for port 1. We know that port 1 is nothing but the one which is, if I say A1 is the incoming power, B1 is the outgoing power. So it is nothing but the power delivered across your, or the total effective power input to port 1 is the incident, or the one which is reflected or transmitted or reflected. So it is nothing but magnitude of A1 square minus magnitude of B1 square. Now, to write it in terms of S parameters, because we don't know what is B1. A1, we know what is the value. I have to write with B1 in terms of S parameters. How I can write B1 in terms of S parameter? Or tell me what is S11? It is B1 by A1. So I can write your B1 as S11 A1. So this equation will be magnitude of A1 square minus magnitude of A1 square into S11 square. So from this, take out your A1 square outside. You will have 1 minus magnitude of S11 square. What is S11 value from the H plane T matrix?
1/2.
1/2. So you can substitute it here. That is A1 square. You know the value is 20 milliwatt. So I'll write it as just 20 milliwatt. I can consider it as the answer. 1 minus 1/4 milliwatt. So just calculate this. 20 minus 1/4 into, 1 minus 1/4 into 20. How much you're getting the power? How much? 15 milliwatt. Yes, getting? Okay. Now, after P1, we need to see the P2. Now, if you consider the P2 value, it is nothing but you have A1, that is the power across, because you know only A1 can be giving you, I mean, it will be giving you the output. You will not be having the reflected because it is match terminated. So you can just multiply your A1 with your input as given to port 1. output should be coming out of port 2, which means the S parameter you have here is S21 square. See, this is different, this is different. You will have port 1 incident reflected both. Whereas port 2 is match terminated, you will have only with respect to S21 and E1. So here it is 20 milliwatt. One S21 value from this is what? Is it -1/2?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is -1/2 square milliwatt. Just check how much it is. 20 into 1/4,
5 milliwatt.
5 milliwatt. So the answer you get here is 5 milliwatt. This is P2. What about P3? How will we write the equation for P3? P3 is 1 is the input, output should come out of port 3, and you know that it is terminated. So B3, that portion will not be there, or this equation will not be coming into effect. So what will be the equation for P3? Compare with P2. It is same as P2, P3, because you should get equal power coming out. It is magnitude of A1 square. This will be
S31, ma'am.
S31 square. What is S31 from your matrix?
1/√2.
Yes, 1/√2. So this is 20 milliwatt into 1/√2 whole square milli. So what is the P3 value? 20 into 1/2.
10, ma'am.
10 milliwatt. Okay. Now the last step, you got 3 equations, but or P1, P2, P3 value you have got, but you know the property of your H plane. What is the property of H plane? If you give the power to port 1, it should equally divide between your port 2 and port 3. Just check it now. Since you're giving across your port 1, you should get equal power coming out of port 3 and port 2. That should be equal to your P1. P1 is nothing but P2 is 5 milliwatt plus P3 is 10 milliwatt. Total you're getting it as 15 milliwatt. Whether this is equal to your P1?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that means the powers, whatever you have got. So all these 3 powers are equal, and you can say that P1 is equal to P2 plus P3. Any confusion in solving the problem?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we have 2 more problems to solve. We'll solve it from tomorrow's class and we'll complete that. Make sure you have your calcs with you. I want everybody to work out. Just a second. You can try this and come, write down the question. Same question it is, just a power change is there. Write down the question. Consider a lossless H-plane T junction. Consider a lossless H-plane T junction with 50 milliwatt of power, 50 milliwatt of power being fed into port 1, and other 2 ports, P2 and P3, are match terminated or match termination. The other ports, 2 ports, 3 and 4, are terminated in match termination. Calculate the power fed into each of the ports. Calculate the power fed into each of the ports by the junction. Calculate the power fed into each of the ports by the junction. The same problem, just the power which is fed given. I want to repeat it. Calculate the power fed into each of the ports by the junction. Solve it and come. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.